Hello, welcome to the webinar Get Exclusive Listing Agreements. This is a presentation of RE/MAX University, Caribbean and Central America. Your host is Ricardo Cardenas. I am co-owner of RE/MAX Caribbean and Central America. Today, our webinar is going to be different. I have a special guest today that I'm going to introduce to you in the next slide. So it is my pleasure to introduce Johanna Farr, one of our agents in Guatemala. Johanna, are you on the line?
Yes, hello, Ricardo. Greetings from Guatemala.
Greetings. How are you doing today?
Very, very happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Would you please introduce yourself?
Yes, hello. My name is Johanna Farr, and it is a pleasure to participate in this webinar. I grew up in real estate. My mother, who's the broker-owner of RE/MAX Platinum in Guatemala, has been in real estate for 35 years. So during my growing up years, I watched her work. I accompanied her on many of her showings and some negotiations. And so when I closed my restaurant, which I was a restaurateur for 18 years, my next passion was always real estate, from watching my mother work and learning from her. So my natural step was to become an agent for RE/MAX Platinum in Guatemala. So I have been in RE/MAX Platinum since 2013. And so, as you know, I was a restaurateur, so I enjoy cooking. And I recently taken up painting as a form of therapy and passing my time and getting a little stress out of my system. And I love to spend time with my friends and family and in my church.
Awesome. Congratulations and thank you for being with us. So let's get our presentation started. The first topic, Johanna, why do you think that when people hire only one agent as opposed to hiring several, their house is likely to sell at a higher price? Why do you think that is?
Well, I believe that if you hire one real estate company, that we are going to be working harder to get them the best possible price and to get them the client and the buyer that is going to pay them the price that they want for their property. If they hire 5 different real estate companies and they want, let's say, $700,000 for their property, each of those companies is going to be competing to close the sale, not to get them the best price possible for their property. They just want to be the ones that earn a commission. So they think that getting 5% of, a $500,000 offer is going to be better than getting 5% of nothing if they don't close the sale. So they are going to come to the owner with an offer that is much less than what they want, just because they want to close the sale. If we get an exclusive right, then we will get an exclusive listing for that property for, let's say, 6 months. Then it'll give us 6 months to be able to search and get the best possible buyer that is going to be paying them the price that they want, because we're going to be competing to close it at the highest possible price. We'll be competing with ourselves to get the best possible buyer instead of just closing the sale.
Wow. You know what? I really like what you're saying. I love the logic. So, in other words, what you're saying is that if, let's assume for a moment, I'm a seller, I want to sell my house. If I hire 5 agents, then they're not going to be competing, to get the maximum price. What they're going to be competing for is to sell the house as fast as possible, regardless of the price, because they are afraid that if they don't get the sale closed, then somebody else is going to sell it and they're going to have work for nothing. Is this correct?
Yes, they can take advantage also that they can tell the buyer, right now it's a seller's market, it's not a buyer's market. So if you get an offer for $500,000, I think you should take it, because that's all you're going to get for your property. Because they're just competing to get the commission. They're not trying to get that buyer the best and fair value for their property. They just want to earn a commission. By getting an exclusive listing, it's a win-win situation, because you're going to try to get the highest possible price so that you can get, the commission over the highest possible price, and not over an offer that just comes along and you want to close the house fast.
Absolutely, I agree with you because let's go back to the same example. If I'm trying to sell my house and I hire only one Remax agent as opposed to hiring several people, I hire only one agent and I give them exclusivity. What's going to happen if this person receives a low offer? This person is going to come to me and he's going to say, "Well, Ricardo, I have an offer, but in reality, I think it's a low offer. I think you can wait. We're gonna sell your property. We can sell your property at a higher price. There is no rush. You have been very professional with me. You have signed an exclusive listing agreement, and I will pay. Yeah, and I'm gonna pay back with loyalty and doing the best, getting you the highest possible price."
Yes,
Fantastic.
I agree with that.
Love it. Thank you. I like that. Okay, let's move on to Johanna. Another topic that's important for the seller is they always want us, the realtors, they always want us to invest money in advertising. How do you feel about this? What do you do?
Well, by obtaining an exclusive listing, it gives us a little bit more options to invest in the advertising for their property. We can place ads in the newspaper. We can place also ads in magazines that are the real estate magazines or publications that are available in our market. We also place the property on our website, and we also share that property on the website for the Guatemalan Real Estate Chamber, and we do email campaigns, email marketings. So we make an ad and we send it to either our own database through an email marketing website or app, or we use some of the companies here that have up to 180,000 people that are within their company, subscribers, that we can send that ad to, and that also has a cost, but we are willing to invest more money to place more advertising for that property if we have it in an exclusive listing than if we were sharing that property with someone else.
Interesting. Now, what would you think of the opposite? Do you think it makes sense for a Remax agent to spend money in advertising when he or she does not have an exclusive agreement? And why is that?
Really, no, because if you're going to spend money and five other companies have the same listing and they sell it, then you are left with a cost that you can't cover because you spent money on advertising and no money came in. So therefore, it is an expense that you're not going to be able to recover because you didn't sell the house. If you have an exclusive listing, then at least for the sale of that house, you're the one selling it. So you're going to know that in one way or another, you're going to be able to recover that expense with the sale of the house.
Thank you. I like that. Yes, I always say that if I'm going to work and not make money, I'd rather not work. And that's exactly what you're describing. You know what? Because if I'm going to take a listing without an exclusive agreement, and on top of that, I'm going to invest money in advertising, and somebody else is going to sell it, well, I'm going to end up with less money, tired, frustrated, thinking that this is not a good business when it is a good business. And in reality, what happened is that this person just made a poor decision by investing money in advertising in a house that somebody else was going to sell. Well, with this, we're yeah, go ahead, please.
And if you go one step further, you're not only spending money in advertising, you're also time is money, and you spent your time and your efforts and your gasoline and going to show the property and showing it to your clients, but other people also have the listing. So if you add all that up, you're spending more than you're making, and that is a bad way to do business.
Totally agree. I love how clear you say it. With this, we're gonna move on to our next slide. Another thing that we find all over the world is that sellers, well, they want to hire several agents to promote their property. They think that hiring a good number of agents is going to sell their house faster. However, many times they don't know how many agents we, as Remax people, we bring to the table. Johanna, what's been your experience with this?
I think that this is what makes it a lot easier to get an exclusive listing because as Remax as a brand, we are able to offer the seller and the property owner 26 agents, which is how many we have in Remax Platinum Guatemala, that will be promoting their property and that they will be contacting their clients and their buyers for this property. And not only that, but we all work under the same code of ethics, which is selling the property in the least amount of time for the highest possible price. So instead of hiring 5 different companies, you're going to be getting 26 people that are going to be promoting the property at the same time under the same with the same attitude, which is getting the best price for the seller.
I like that. When I was selling real estate many years ago, sometimes the seller would tell me, "Well, I'm going to hire several agents," and I would ask them, "So, how many agents do you have in mind? How many are you going to hire?" And they would say, "Well, I'm going to hire 3, 4, or 5 agents," and I would tell them, 3, 4, or 5. Why so few? I don't get it. When you see, it's just the opposite. You turn it around. You say, only 5? Really? Why is that? It's like that doesn't make any sense. Why not 200? Why not 50? That's what I bring to the table as a Remax agent. When you hire me, well, you bring a big number of agents, and that's a lot larger, a bigger number than the 3 or 5 that you have in mind. And then go for the closing. Huh? Just say, "So, is there any other objection? Do you have any other questions, or can we sign the exclusive agreement now?" And you know what?
Well,
There's nothing wrong with that, right?
There's even something else you can add to that.
Tell
Not
me.
only are you getting 26 agents with Remax Platinum, but also you are getting Remax Premium and you're getting Remax Colonial, which are the other 2 Remax franchises in Guatemala. So you're actually getting even more agents because we can share those listings with our Remax franchises in Guatemala. And if you go further than that, hiring Remax and giving us the exclusive listing, you can also get international clients because Remax is all over the world.
Exactly. I like that. Totally agree. When they hire one of us, they are hiring an
All of us.
entire, yes, all of us. I love that. That sounded good. When you hire one of us, you hire all of us. That's totally true. We need to make that a slogan, huh?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, with that, we're going to move on to the next slide. Another topic that's important is that more and better information for you, the seller. And the reason why we have this slide is because many sellers, well, most sellers, they want to have good information. They want to be well informed about the process of selling their house. And Johanna, what's been your experience with this?
I think that is true because when you have the information and the exclusive listing for the property, it creates more of a communication between the property owner and the agent because you're the one that's letting them know the showings for their house. You can let them know how the market is going. If it's and if in 3 months a market in real estate can change. It can change from a buyer's market to a seller's market. So you become advisors for that property owner. And if you have an exclusive listing, you're able as an agent to provide them more information on time and on a regular basis than if you are one of 5 real estate companies that have the same property. And at the same time, it also makes the owner responsible to keep you updated on the property as well. If you don't have the exclusive listing and the property gets sold by another real estate company, sometimes the owners don't even inform you that the property has been sold and you're still listing it and you're still offering it. But the property owner didn't inform you that the property had been sold already, or if it's off the market, or if he lowers the price or raises the price. By getting an exclusive listing, the information can go both ways, from you, the agent, and from the property owner as well.
Yes, totally agree. And the number one complaint that we hear from sellers is that the agent listed the property and then simply disappeared. And many times the reason why is because the agent felt that, well, there are so many people working for this seller that I'm not even going to pay attention. I don't feel a responsibility to inform this person of what I'm doing. So that's another thing is that we're gonna totally avoid complaints, and we're gonna provide better service. And when we provide better service, people are gonna recommend us. They're gonna refer us to their friends and relatives and neighbors, and that's how we do more and better business. And with that,
Yes.
and then we're gonna move on to the next slide. Another topic that's important in most parts of the world is the topic of confidentiality. Many sellers do not want everybody to know that their property is for sale or that it's sold. But Johanna, you're the one that brought up this topic. How do you relate this to exclusive listing agreements? What do you have in mind?
I believe that this is one of our major assets in order to obtain an exclusive listing. When you can provide the seller a secure state of mind that their privacy will be respected and that we're going to be very confidential with their information. And some owners don't let us put signs out in front of the property, or they don't let us advertise it on the internet, just because they're premium properties and they're very high listings. So they don't want it to be known, like you said, that that property is being sold, or they don't want it to be known that they are the owners of this property. So many exclusive listings that we have is because we are able to provide them with that confidentiality, and they feel assured that we're not going to be offering it to everyone. We're going to be qualifying and pre-qualifying our clients that we're going to be offering these premium properties to. And we don't give out their information until there is a formal offer on the table.
I see what you're saying. Well, that's a very important asset that you said, strength that you bring to the table, and so you're able to not disclose the identity of the seller, and that is important. And I believe that also takes us to the next slide. Then there is the always important topic of security. This is important for many sellers around the world, in the United States as well, of course. So, Johanna, you're the one that brought up this topic. Why did you bring it up? What do you have in mind?
Well, I believe that with an exclusive listing, with these premium properties and large properties that have a high value amount, buyers, for their security, wish the transactions to be confidential, which is what we were talking about before. And in order for them to be confidential and provide them the security that they want, it is an asset that we provide this exclusive listing through RE/MAX, because they don't want it to be known publicly that they received large amounts of money for the sale of their property. Having one company in charge of your property who pre-qualifies the clients as we do, then we know exactly who will be bringing into your house, and you will feel that security that we're not going to bring just anyone into your home if you still live there or if it's empty. And that will, this comes into play also because in terms of money laundering, we investigate and qualify legitimate buyers with legitimate offers that will not get the seller in trouble with any banking institutions, either locally or internationally. And I think this is one of the concerns for the buyers in our region.
That is interesting. I never thought of that before. It is that by signing an exclusive listing agreement, sellers are actually safer, and in many different ways. They are more protected against money laundering. They are also more protected against common thieves. because by you pre-qualifying the buyers, you pre-qualify the people that go into their house. And otherwise, if they have hired 3 or 5 agents, they don't really know who goes into their house and when. And if something goes wrong, all the agents are going to be blaming each other, and nobody's going to be responsible, and nobody's going to admit anything, and that's just a mess, really. So, oh my gosh, you know what? I feel that after listening to our conversation here, I feel even more strongly about exclusive listing agreements. I think that it is in the definite advantage to the seller to always give us exclusive listing agreements. And in closing, I'm going to move on to the next slides for some final thoughts. In closing, I would like to say that it's really all in your mind. I believe it was Henry Ford that said, if you believe that you can, or you believe that you can't, you are right. It's all in your mind. So, what do you believe? Do you believe that you can get exclusive listing agreements, or that you can't? Because that will create your reality. Johanna, what do you have in mind for final thoughts?
I would say don't be afraid to ask the seller for an exclusive listing after you have given him all these points and all these pros of getting an exclusive listing. It can only lead to a win-win situation. The worst that can happen is that the seller says no, and then it will be his loss, not yours.
Yeah, stand tall, stand strong. Huh? Absolutely. Well, Johanna, thank you very much for being with us today. I believe that you brought a lot to the table, and we're grateful for your collaboration.
Thank you, Ricardo. And here in Guatemala, we are at the service of all the RE/MAX agents in Caribbean and Central America. So if anybody needs anything in Guatemala, we are here. It will be a pleasure to assist you.
Thank you so much. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
We would like to end this presentation giving you a quick summary of what is RE/MAX. Well, RE/MAX is a real estate franchise. Just as McDonald's is a hamburger franchise, we are a real estate franchise. And we have operations in over 100 countries, close to 100,000 agents around the world. Now, the word RE/MAX means real estate maximums. We provide the maximum service to our franchisees, their agents, and buyers and sellers. And what we stand for is best described with the acronym BEST, B-E-S-T. B stands for Brand and Business Referrals. Many of our franchisees indicate that just by using the brand appropriately and with the business referrals that they receive, they are able to pay for their franchise. E stands for Entrepreneurship, Education, and Ethics. We have a culture of entrepreneurship. Our agents are not employees. They are not simply salespeople. They are small entrepreneurs that they have their own business. We believe in education. That's why we created RE/MAX University. And we always say, the more you learn, the more you earn. We also believe in business ethics. And this is what makes a big difference for us in many of the markets where we participate. S stands for systems and know-how. Of course, we have information systems, computer systems, but it's a lot more than that. Your properties, the properties that you list, will show everywhere. They will show in our main website, which is remax.com. And this is a very, very important website in the real estate industry. We receive close to 2 million unique visitors per month. So it's not just any website. And then there is also know-how. We have plenty of information, system, procedures, etc. T stands for teamwork. We believe in our team strongly. We feel that we're very fortunate to have the people that we have on our boss, on our team, and this is the invitation that we're making you to send us an email, find out more about RE/MAX, and see if our team is for you. If you would like to receive a full presentation on pricing, please send an email to info@remax-cca.com. When you email us, please indicate city and country so we can direct you to the right person and give you the best possible price from the beginning. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation.